Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that your body without your consent changed the course of science forever. No fame, no credit, no warning. Or picture this. The year is 1945. The war is over. And scientists finally unlock secrets so horrifying that governments immediately bury them, not because they're useless, but because they work too well. Today, we're diving into the most disturbing scientific discoveries ever recorded. Not sci-fi, not conspiracy theories. These are real experiments, real people, real data, and consequences that still haunt medicine, psychology, and technology today. Some of these discoveries saved millions of lives. Others destroyed thousands. And all of them will make you question how far science should ever be allowed to go. Content disclaimer before we begin. This video discusses human experimentation, ethical violations, and historical trauma. Nothing here is presented for shock alone. This is about understanding the cost of knowledge. 1. Henrietta Lacks and the immortal cells that wouldn't die. 1951, Baltimore, Maryland. You're a 31-year-old mother of 5. You go to the hospital because something feels wrong. Doctors tell you it's cervical cancer. What they don't tell you is that a piece of your body is about to become the most important biological material in modern history. In February 1951, doctors at Johns Hopkins took a tissue sample from Henrietta Lacks without asking her. No consent, no explanation. That sample was labeled HeLa. And then something impossible happened. The cells didn't die. Normally, human cells survive a few divisions before breaking down. Henrietta's cells just kept going. Day after day, division after division, immortal. Scientists had never seen anything like it. It was like discovering fire, one researcher later said. HeLa cells became the backbone of modern medicine. Polio vaccine development, cancer research, HIV treatment, gene mapping, COVID-19 research, even space experiments aboard NASA missions. By 2020. Over 50 million metric tons of HeLa cells had been grown worldwide. And Henrietta's family? They didn't find out until 1973. Over 2 decades after her death. Her children lived in poverty, while pharmaceutical companies made billions selling her cells. Some of them couldn't afford healthcare. Some didn't even understand what cells were. Here's the disturbing part. HeLa cells are so aggressive that they've contaminated countless other cell lines, ruining decades of research. They're basically biological cockroaches. Dark fun fact. If you combined all HeLa cells ever grown, they'd weigh more than the Empire State Building. Ethically, this discovery forced medicine to confront a brutal truth. Science advanced by exploiting a woman who'd never agreed to be part of it. And it wasn't the last time. If this kind of deep, uncomfortable history interests you, hit subscribe. We've got an entire playlist on scientific ethics gone wrong, and trust me, it gets worse. 2. Unit 731. When science became a weapon. 1937 to 1945. Manchuria, China. You're walking into what looks like a hospital. White coats, clipboards, doctors, but you're not a patient. You're labeled log. That's what Japan's Unit 731 called human beings. Between 1937 and 1945, Imperial Japanese scientists ran the most sadistic scientific research facility ever documented. Their mission: perfect biological warfare. Their method: live human experimentation. Prisoners, men, women, children were frozen alive to study frostbite, dissected without anesthesia, injected with plague, cholera, anthrax, used to test flamethrowers, grenades, and pressure chambers. Doctors called it research. Victims called it hell. One former staff member later testified, "We didn't think of them as people. They were materials." The disturbing scientific discovery here wasn't just that these experiments worked. It was how effective they were. Unit 731 successfully weaponized bubonic plague fleas, contaminated water supplies, airborne pathogens. Some estimates suggest over 200,000 civilian deaths resulted from their field tests. And here's where it gets truly dark. After the war, the United States granted immunity to Unit 731 scientists in exchange for their data. No trials, no prison, no accountability. Their research quietly influenced Cold War biological weapons programs. So yes, modern biosecurity protocols exist, because scientists once proved how easily humanity could be wiped out. Progress came at a price. You wake up in a hospital room. You volunteered for a sleep study, or maybe you didn't volunteer at all. Either way, someone just slipped LSD into your drink. Welcome to Project MKUltra. During the Cold War, the CIA became obsessed with one question: can we control the human mind? So they tried. For 20 years, the CIA ran secret experiments on soldiers, prisoners, mental health patients, random civilians. Subjects were dosed with LSD, mescaline, barbiturates, sensory deprivation, electroshock therapy, often without consent. One victim, Frank Olson, died after being unknowingly dosed with LSD and later falling from a hotel window. Decades later, his family sued the government. The CIA destroyed most MKULTRA records in 1973, but what survived is horrifying. One document reads, Subproject 130 aims to induce amnesia and complete identity loss. Let that sink in. The disturbing discovery? The human brain is far more fragile than we want to admit. Subjects experienced permanent psychosis, memory loss, dissociative identity symptoms. Modern psychology still grapples with the fallout. Fun but terrifying fact. MKUltra heavily inspired pop culture from Stranger Things to The Manchurian Candidate. Reality was worse. This video is sponsored by Vault, an app that gives you access to verified historical documents, declassified files, and original research papers without the misinformation rabbit holes. If you want to read the actual MKUltra files or Unit 731 testimonies, CurioVault is honestly worth it. You're pregnant. Your doctor prescribes a pill for morning sickness. He says it's safe. It's not. Thalidomide was marketed in over 40 countries as a harmless sedative. No long-term testing. No rigorous fetal studies. The result? Over 10,000 babies born with severe deformities, missing limbs, organ malformations, facial paralysis. In Germany, children were nicknamed Kuntergun babies. In the US, disaster was narrowly avoided thanks to Dr. Frances Kelsey, who refused FDA approval. Her insistence on data saved thousands of lives. The disturbing discovery here is structural. Modern drug testing protocols exist because this catastrophe proved what happens without them. Dark irony. Thalidomide later became a treatment for cancer and leprosy under strict controls. Science didn't abandon it. It just learned the cost of arrogance. You're assigned a role. Guard or prisoner, it's fake. It's temporary. 6 days later, people are screaming. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo wanted to study authority. What he discovered was how quickly morality collapses under power. Gods became abusive.
Prisoners broke down emotionally. Zimbardo himself lost objectivity. The experiment was stopped early. The disturbing discovery wasn't about prisons. It was about human nature. Later analysis exposed flaws, manipulation, and ethical violations. But the lesson stuck.
Every discovery in this video advanced science, but every one also left scars. The moral lesson is uncomfortable. Progress is not neutral. It reflects the values of the people chasing it. So the real question isn't, what can science do? It's, what should it do? If you want a part 2 because, yes, there are many more, let me know in the comments. Like the video if this made you think. Subscribe if you want more deep dive documentaries like this. And remember, the most dangerous discoveries aren't always accidents. Sometimes they're exactly what we were looking for. Thanks for watching.